Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We're so happy to have you here with us today. We've got a great show lined up, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. How about you, Breezy?
Oh yeah. I'm feeling super about it. Great things are happening. We're here one more time, one more again, and, we've got to make it rock.
Yes, indeed. And we have an interview today with M.O.M.on.the.Beats lined up, so you're going to want to make sure that you keep it locked. And of course, we'll chat about current things happening in the music industry because we love to keep you informed. And also just so you know that the beats, instrumentals and stuff that you hear are all produced by me, Achickwitbeatz, and you can always check them out at achickwitbeatz.com. That's ACHICKWITBEATZ.com. All right, so make sure you keep it locked right here on granderradio.com. We are here in the building, the virtual building, if you will, with M.O.M.on.the.Beats. How you doing?
I'm good. What's up? How's everybody doing?
We are great. We're really, really, really excited to have you on the show. And we just want you to let the listeners know a little bit about who you are, your background, how you got started with the producing, and, just fill us in.
All right. Well, I technically have been producing for quite a while, but not actually. I actually started back in 2006, and I went hard with it for about 3 years. And then I stopped for a long time, like 12 years. I really just started producing again in December of 2019. So I've been back to it for about 8 months now. So, when I first started, I was into it hard, and I was working with a lot of, local, artists, and also working with some artists from different coasts and stuff like that. I actually, the first go around got the opportunity to work with Camille. I did a song for her, also one of her mixtapes and stuff. So, I was really big into it back then, and then I stopped and started doing the momming thing, and you know how that goes. So I've come back to it. And I came back to it using the name M.O.M.on.the.Beats because the first time around I went by EQ, and this time I came back and I'm like, I'm a little advanced in age. I have a little girl, and it's like, my priority is to be mom, but I also have this passion for music, so I incorporated the two, and voila, M.O.M.on.the.Beats. So.
I love it. It's beautiful.
And I got into production, actually. My husband is also a producer, and so I used to go to the studio with him for hours, and I got so exhausted waiting for him, and I finally got to a point one day where I was like, what's so great about this? Can you please explain? And he showed me how to make a beat, and the rest is history.
That's amazing, right, Breezy?
Oh, yeah. Metamorphosis with an exclamation point on it. And I'm sure our listeners are receiving that, looking that up, woken that up, and strong information right there.
And just kind of to speak to what you were asking me when you say I show love all the time. The reason I show love, I specifically show love to the female producers, because back when I first started doing this, there weren't a lot of us. The platform was different back then. Back then you had MySpace, and you don't have all the options that you have now. And so the community of female producers was very, very tiny, compared to what it is now. So, and then from my own experience, and like I said, I got pretty deep into the craft, but I don't feel that I was getting the love and support. I didn't have community. And so when I see other females trying to do what they do, I give them that community. So you'll see me all over Instagram tagging people's stuff up and showing them love, because it comes from a place of, I didn't have that. I want you to have it so that you can continue your craft. Because I stopped doing it because of the lack of love. And so now that I have the opportunity to come back to it, and also the opportunity to show love to other female producers, that's why you see me tagging everybody's stuff up. Keep doing it. I love what you're doing. Whatever kind words I can share with the sisters, because I know how hard it is.
Well, I gotta say this. It was only about 3 days ago when someone on Instagram was really boasting and bragging about MySpace, and they actually still had their original page, and they made a screenshot of that page and posted it on Instagram, and were attracting some folks back to that. And so then I started scurrying, trying to figure out what, and I'm like, oh, that's so long ago, I don't even know how I got in there or what. I remember my page, but I of course don't know the steps or my password or whatever. But it seemed on that day they were really pushing it for a resurgence, and that was only 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh wow, really? That would be cool to go back to the MySpace days. You couldn't tell me nothing about my MySpace page. I had my little picture and my music in the background, and it was great.
Yeah. And if all of us could actually figure out what those passwords were, because this person all of this time, they never stopped using it. They've never stopped using it. And
I didn't even know I didn't even know you could still access MySpace.
Yeah, that's some dedication, but they actually reformatted it, I want to say about 3 years ago. And so it actually, looked updated, but they still couldn't really draw in the users that they once had. So yeah, they're still trying to keep it going, but it's I don't want to say a lost cause, but it's kind of hard just feeling like you yelling into an empty tunnel that no one else is listening to. So, yeah.
They even went ahead and posted that original picture of Tom with the white T-shirt on.
Wow!
And wow! They were posted on Instagram this week, and they were really rocking with it.
MySpace, yeah. Yeah, but, just getting back to what we were talking about with the community and, just a little background for the listeners. That's actually how we got connected, because a lot of times I would post things and, sometimes people just kind of watch or whatever without saying anything. But M.O.M.on.the.Beats was always there showing support, showing love. And so, that's one of the things that's like, you know what? To have the amount of skill and experience that you have, sharing it with other people, that's something that you don't really see that often, male or female. So it's really awesome what you're doing.
Yeah,
so.
it's really sad to see that. I like you said, people, they don't say nothing, but you know that they're watching. And like I said, you'll see. I go around. I'm sure you see me come across all the people that you follow. You probably see me on their pages or whatever. Because, like I said, truly, I know what it's like to try to do this and not have that extra support that you need as a female. Because, like I said, when I first did this, I got pretty high up there. Like, I was in big beat battles and stuff. I was actually in the same Red Bull as M.O.M.on and Frank Dukes when I did it. So I have competed with some major players in the music industry, and I wish that I had the community that exists now when I was doing it, because Lord knows who I would be right now had I had that community. So that's why when I see women who have a talent, I support them, because I know how important the support is to help cultivate them. Because if they don't have the support, it could be the greatest thing, and if they don't feel nobody cares, they'll stop. Because I did it. I was there. I've done it. I've been there. I've done that. And so that's why I'm always trying to make sure I support the ladies, because it's tough out there. But at the same time, I do see now, it seems that the time is coming for the ladies in the industry. I'm starting to see a movement towards it. Especially, did you see Beyonce just signed 2 female producers to her roster?
Yeah.
They're called Nova Wave. They're called Nova Wave, and they're top notch. They got signed by Beyonce, so that lets me know that makes me proud. It makes me happy to see women fighting for their place in the industry, and I'm here for it. So that's why I'm always giving my little kind words. I give my kind words, especially to the ladies who never give me any kind words, because we suffer from that whole I'm better than you, or I'm in competition with you as females all the time. And so, of course, it's going to extend into any other space. And so I don't do that. I'm not here to compete with anybody. I'm here to just be who I am. And then if I like what you're doing, I'm going to support what you're doing too. We should not be in competition with each other. We should be showing love and support.
Yeah, there's enough room for all of us to do what we do. And, you see that often as far as, rappers as well. So it's like, she's the queen of rap, and it's like you can see men operate in the same space without that same kind of comparison. But for whatever reason, anytime it's multiple women in the spotlight, they do whatever they can to kind of, pit us against each other. And it doesn't need to be that way.
And we allow them to do it though, because we take that, we take what we we perceive as, oh, they showing me love, they hyping me up, they doing that. No, they're not. They're catcalling. They're actually they're actually putting you in a realm to compete against somebody who could be an ally to you. And if we supported each other and worked with each other, we would go further. That's true in any social aspect. When you work together and support each other, you grow. So,
found the line for that. Underline what you just said, man.
Because, you know, I see a few ladies who get on there and say, ain't nobody better than me, or I'm this, or I'm that. Now, I could get up there and say, I'll kill everybody, but I don't do that because there's no reason. I mean, honestly, you know, if you know that you have a skill set and to me, you show that you're good at what you do by constantly growing in what you do and working with others to get better at it, not by competing with other people. That's not what I do.
Yes, that's so beautiful. You know, you mentioned about, you know, the Red Bull experience. Would you mind giving us a little bit of background on what that was like for you? Because, I mean, that's big time. I don't want to gloss over that at all.
Well, you know, Red Bull was at this point 12 years ago. Because it was 2008. So it was an awesome opportunity for me, especially as a very new producer. I was only in the game or in the craft for maybe a year and a half, at the most 2 years at the point that I got selected to be in that. And like I said, it's a major platform. I think they still do a big tune battle every year. I think they've kind of put it into the South by Southwest, the South by South format, and they do it there. But you know, at the time that it was popular, it was a pretty big deal. You basically submit to music for your city, and they pick, let's say, 12 people. Those 12 people battle, and it gets narrowed down to the 2 to represent the city, and then they fly all of the semifinalists and finalists to the final battle, which the year that I did it, the final battle was in New York. And so me and the group that won, they're called Foul Mob. They actually produced for like Kurt Cobain. They did Drink in My Cup. They did that beat. So like I told you, everybody that was on that roster that S1 from out of Dallas, S1 was in the competition. M.O.M.on was in the competition. Frank Duke, C6, all of these established major producers. I got the honor of being in competition with them. And like I said, this was in 2008 when female producers were few and far between. And so I was really proud of that experience. But at the same time, that experience is kind of what helped to push me back out of music because it happened so fast. Everything happened so fast. It happened too quickly, and without support and community, all of that pressure on top of me is kind of what pushed me back into the shadows. And I stayed hidden for 12 years, and now I'm back out. So I'm inspired because now I see those guys who were new producers at the time have become the people that everybody wants to be in the industry. And that gives me the confidence to say, here I am, 45 years old, I'm trying to make beats again, but I played with the best, so I can do it again. So I'm motivated, and I've come back, just to the craft, just to do the music because it was missing in my own personal space. So, but yeah, Red Bull was a great experience for me. And I really, beat battles in general, I think are a good way for new, young, aspiring producers to kind of get a name for themselves, get a following, get themselves out there. But the funny thing is, now that I'm back doing music, everybody who is familiar with that wants me to be in a beat battle, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right. I already proved myself. Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was in the biggest beat battle there is. I ain't got no time to do no other beat battles. And not only that, I've moved past that. I'm not a beat battle producer. You have to be a certain kind of producer to do that. And it's not who I am. I'm, I just do whatever I feel at this time. So, but yes, that was Red Bull. And actually, the year that I was in it, the year before my husband was in it, and my husband and I were actually in the competition with each other in 2008.
Oh, whoa.
Yes. So we're like the first husband and wife. I'm the first female to ever be in Red Bull. So.
Wow. That is incredible, man. I got chills just listening to the story as you're explaining it. That's, man, especially because what later M.O.M.on went on to host some of the lectures. So yeah, just for the listeners out there that may not know, like she said, she was with some heavy hitters. So,
heavy hitters.
Incredible.
And the guy that won, C-Stick at the time, he was 17. So he's about almost 30 years old probably by now, and he's big time too. He actually just did a few cuts on Vic Mensa's release that just came out yesterday. So these guys are all doing major things. Like, I am so proud to watch them grow and all of that, but then I'm mad at myself for throwing the towel in for not going for mine, because I could have been the person to be the one to have all the ladies come up under me, and I could have been the one to help break the first, big female producer. So there's a lot of regrets on my part, but we don't have time for that. We move forward. So I'm just back in the game, and here we go.
And the thing is, your story is still inspiring, especially right now, to everyone listening. So, like you say, no tears lost over what could have been, but what you've been through is already a foundation for people to build upon now. So you broke ground when there weren't women out there doing that or getting the exposure for doing that. So that still means something, regardless of whether or not you took a break. You helped lay the foundation for, people like me to come up. So, yeah, kudos to you, hats off to you, and, man, are you just soaking in all this awesomeness, Breezy?
My major word goes back again to the word I used before, the metamorphosis and of Mom. And see, now, it's a different dimension. She's got experience, she's got the knowledge, and has been hands on. So see, that metamorphosis has led her to a place there. You might as well guarantee to say that there are people out there that want to be where you are. They want to know what you know. They want to have experience. So that metamorphosis, even though there were some differences or some changes in the pattern, it still has been everlasting. And see, now it's developing even more on a different dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now I've taken the place of students, because the music is different now. The platforms to market yourself and to build your brand and all. It wasn't like this. When I first started doing this, we were still in the, here, you want to buy my CD for $5? There wasn't all of this electronic assets and where you do your own distribution. There was none of the stuff that exists now that helps it to be easier to really get yourself out there. But this is new for me, so I am doing on top of relearning the craft itself and learning the new music and what people are into. I'm also having to learn the game, because this is all new to me, this whole Instagram and TikTok and all of this stuff. I didn't know how to do any of this. So I am truly the student at this point. And so this whole 8-month period has been a whole time for me to learn and study and to watch, to help me, get stronger in what I'm doing. So, I'm still a little rusty in some of my stuff, but I'm getting there. I'm more excited about it this go around than I was the first time. And like I said, I'm pretty advanced in age, but I say if Mike Dean can be almost 60 years old and be making the hottest hip hop records, then M.O.M.on.the.Beats can do it too.
Right. And, you know, it's crazy too because you look at all these other genres and really hip hop is the only one that kind of participates in ageism. But when you think about how old hip hop is itself, the fans are going to grow old. So, I mean, not to say that there's anything wrong with like some of the newer things that come out, but me, myself, at where I'm at in age, I don't necessarily want to listen to some of the new stuff that's out on the radio. I want to listen to people who are dealing with the same experiences and stuff. And, you know, you had mentioned earlier about becoming a mom and kind of adjusting things. So, yeah, I'm not interested in the same things I was when I was, 17, 20, and, not saying that I'm super far off for that. Let me clarify that for the listeners. But we grow, and that doesn't mean that we love hip hop any less. So I firmly believe that no matter what age you are, still keep doing what you want to do. So yeah, to anybody out there that's listening, nope, you're not too old to rap. You're not too old to produce. Keep doing what you do. There's a market out there that needs what you have to offer.
Exactly. And that's why I said I don't do the same stuff that like the sounds that folks do now. I don't do that mainly because it all sounds alike. It all sounds the same to me. It's the same 808 drum, it's the same rim shot, it's the same hi-hat, it's the same snare. And it's like there's only so many beats like that you can make before it's like, okay, this all sounds the same. It's not organic. I do organic stuff. What I do is organic. It may not be appealing to everybody, but it appeals to me. It's what I feel at the moment, and that's what I do. I'm not here to sound like everybody else. I'm here to present my expression, and I can only present my expression by doing what I like. So now, that doesn't mean that I can't do what they do. I just don't want to do it.
Right. You choose not to. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about where you're from because, the regions and stuff that we tend to spend most of our time kind of shape what we do musically. So, yeah, can you let us know a little bit about where you're from and how that's influenced you musically?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure you could tell that I'm not from Houston by the way I talk. So I am actually originally from New York, but I've been in Houston since 2003. So I've been here for quite a while. And the influence of both is heavy in me because, growing up in New York, I in the 90s, I got exposed to the best music there was at that time. Underground hip hop. Is basically what raised me. And then to come here to the South and have exposure to the elements that they use and the kind of music that, Houston has its own sound, because they do the chopped and screwed stuff. But Houston itself, they have their own sound. And so my sound is actually a blend of all of that. And then, I have Latin background. My mother and father are from Latin countries, and so of course, well, actually Afro-Caribbean, because my mom is from Nicaragua, and we listen to reggae, soca, Spanish music, all of that. So all of this music has helped to kind of help me hone in my sound. And somebody said to me before that I have hardcore hip hop with a bounce. So, but that's from the different music I've been exposed to throughout my life, and the different music I listen to. Because I listen to Latin music, I listen to soca, I listen to reggae, I listen to everything because that's basically how I grew up, and I exposed my daughter to the same thing, so that she has that wealth of music exposure in her growing up.
That's so dope. Don't you think so, Breezy?
Yeah, and it's the school. Some people use the phrase old school, but I'm using a totally different one, as in the school. And
yep.
So, the school has got a lot of depth, and so my hat's off to you for what you're doing and the flow that you've got yourself firmly implanted in. And I always have been one that, once you mention the Caribbean or the Latin, I'm all in. because there are a lot. There are, we gotta mention there are a lot who are not, and so those are certain elements that they're missing completely. They may be all into what they're doing, and that's great. No disrespect to anybody, but I'm just saying right here, the moment you mention Latin, that just takes it to another level. That to me is very engrossing, is very inspiring, it just leads to participation, and it leads me to smiles.
Yeah.
Once I start smiling, it's over. Okay, and so the Latin influences, the Caribbean influences, hey, that's like 12 thumbs up.
Well, the truth is, I try to do any kind of music because I like all kinds of music, and so you can't pigeonhole yourself because you might say, I don't know how to make that. You gotta try. You don't know if you know how to make it or not if you don't try. And so, I also have to reach back culturally. I had one of my friends that I grew up with. He DM'd me the other day and he said, of course, my name is Erica, so E and EQ, that's where that came from. And so a lot of people, even though I'm M.O.M.on.the.Beats now, and that's what I claim, they refuse to call me M.O.M.on.the.Beats. They will only call me EQ. The old school people will only call me EQ. They refuse to call me Mom. But he said to me, like, Mom, you need to deep into your heritage, dig deeper into your heritage. He's like, you did a couple of here. He's like, you need to really dig into the heritage and make some fire. So I think I'm going to really take that. You always get an idea. You know how this is to be. You get an idea and then you file it in your mental cabinet, but then you get another idea and it gets covered over and you forget.
Yes.
But I've definitely been taking lots of notes from folks who've been kind of saying in the background, like egging me on, like, here, do this, do that, do that. So the Latin Caribbean, I actually did a bachata beat recently, but I'm gonna I need to do a reggae beat, a reggaeton beat, and I think that might be my next little try. I'm gonna try to do one of those. So, but yeah, I have to represent part of my culture. Otherwise, I'm not really being myself. If I don't incorporate my life and my true experience into my music, then I'm not being real. So I have to do my Latin music. I have to do my Caribbean stuff because that's part of who I actually am. So
yeah, that's incredible. And some of the best hip hop songs, or like even beats in particular, have come from the fusion of people listening to different types of music. So, like, I've had people that are just straight, in the hip-hop. Like, they don't listen to anything else. Like, oh, yeah, so what do you listen to sample? My response is usually more than hip-hop. So,
yeah.
like, it's an eclectic genre on its own, so you can't just listen to that and expect, to just make what's considered as classic hip-hop. You have to expand your horizons, especially if something's already in you, a part of your culture, a part of your heritage. Yeah. That's beautiful, especially you mentioned the bachata. That was my flow. We go to the Latin clubs. That's like the only thing I could dance to comfortably. But, I was like, I don't even have the steps for all this stuff, but I can do this. But yeah.
Well, see, the truth is, like with salsa and merengue and bachata and all of that, that's African music. That's naturally our bloodline. That's drums. That is African music. And so Latin music, not Tejano so much, obviously, but like the bachata, the merengue, the salsa, and also, of course, Caribbean music. That's all African music. And so in order to do hip-hop music, which is African music, you got to use drums. You use drums and those other forms of music. So why can't they be melded together? They're all part of who we are culturally. It's all Africa. It all comes from the same place, and so it can all be utilized the same way. We have to stop being closed-minded because hip-hop ain't selling the most music. This Latin music is selling big the Maluma is a Latin artist. He just dropped his album yesterday. Nas dropped his album yesterday. Who do you think is going to get the most streams, the most downloads, the most purchases? Because the truth is that right now Latin people are becoming the majority, and so we have to stop pigeonholing ourselves and say I'm just going to make fire hip hop beats, because that's not really what sells. Hip hop music does not sell like country music or pop music or Latin music, and so we have to start understanding that we love our stuff, but we have to either borrow or use other stuff and start bringing them over so that we can start selling the same way that those other types of music sell. So that's why I don't pigeonhole myself. I don't say I just make this kind of beat. I don't, because you never know. It might be that weak reggae beat that you made that you sell and actually becomes a hit. So I'm not closed-minded in any way. I'll make any kind of beat. I'll make rock. I'll make whatever I feel, because everything sells if it's good. So
right. So could you let us know what's coming down the pipeline for you? I know that the whole pandemic's kind of thrown people off a little bit, but if you could let our listeners know what to expect from you coming up here soon.
I have a couple of things. My husband and I. Like I said, we're a production team, so I'm M.O.M.on.the.Beats and he's Desiac, but we're actually a production team, and we go by the Hensons, which is actually our name. My name is Erica Henson. So we do music together, and we actually are releasing a single. I've been advertising it kind of, sort of, here lately, but we're going to be pushing for release of it very shortly. So the single is called I Choose You, and it's an R&B track, and it features an artist that I actually came across on Instagram. Well, I didn't come across her. The writer came across her, and but her name is Anna Moore. She's in Atlanta, and she's very, very talented young lady. So we have that single coming. We're going to release it as a maxi single because we're releasing the full song, the instrumental, and we're also doing a reprise. So it's going to be a maxi single that we release. And then I also have some stuff coming down the pipe. I just got added to another production team out of New Jersey, and they are a straight boom. It's a boom bap hip hop, straight hardcore hip hop production team called the Unfadables, and so they just added me to their team. I'm really excited about that, because I'm like, I was really surprised that they asked me, because I'm like, I'm not straight boom bap. I can do straight boom bap, but I'm not. But they said that they love my melodies, and so they're going to be incorporating some of my original melodies and stuff like that to samples to make hip hop. And they have a couple of signed artists that they're working with that will be doing some releasing at the end of this year or early into next year. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I might actually get my first major placement through it. So that's coming up. And then my husband and I, again, are also doing our own beat tape. And we're probably going to be releasing that towards the end of this year. So, and I have a few singles with different artists here and there. And I'm working with another person on his full LP, and he's in South Africa. So it's a lot of, I have a lot of stuff. The internet really gives you a lot of opportunities. So I'm using the electronic exposure to my advantage. So yeah, we got a few things coming. So you should see some stuff soon.
Incredible. Hats off to you. Don't you say so, Breezy? Like, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yes. And then another aspect, an additional aspect is, we're all focused on the pandemic and so on and so forth. However, and other artists have been fortunate enough to do this or that, concerning the social distancing and so forth. But just this morning, I got a call. See, I'm a guitarist, and somebody invited me to a social distancing set tonight.
Oh, good.
Okay, but they were specifically speaking in terms of social distancing and so on and so forth. But see, when you transfer that to you, see, that's right down your line as well. So
it's right down our
just a few weeks ago, we were all closed in, shut in, but see, now it's starting to seep out somewhat. So the person who's talented like you can actually be in the place. You take care of yourself as far as the protection is concerned, and you stay with the social distancing and so forth, but you still can get that live kick in there because it's starting to open back up to a certain extent in certain places.
Yeah. Well, Texas has never really, that's why we have high numbers, because these folks here are, I'm not going to get political, but they're not mask wearers. They think it's a fake virus and it's political, so they don't adhere. And honestly, I have been locked up in the house since it all started because I have major health issues that if I get exposed, I could be one of those that's bad off. So I've enjoyed it because I get to stay home. My family is here with me, and they're safe. I see what they're doing at all time, and most importantly, I can make music. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I actually am enjoying it. And thankfully with what we do, we don't have to be in the public eye. We could just send them what they need and let the artists have their music, and they'll still represent for us because they'll do the performing, and we can still stay home and be safe. So I'm fine.
Right. So, before we wind this down, can you make sure that you let the listeners know everywhere that they can follow you and all the platforms they can find your music? Because, obviously, you've been listening. She's dropping some bombs that you're going to want. So make sure that you follow her everywhere that she tells you to.
Well, I on pretty much every platform, go by M.O.M.on.the.Beats, and that's not hard. There's a lot of periods in there because mom is obvious. I'm truly a mom, but M.O.M. actually stands for something else. It is. I'm not a female producer. I'm a producer. I am a maker of music. I am not a female producer. I'm not a male producer. I'm just a maker of music. So that's what M.O.M. actually stands for. But yeah, M.O.M.on.the.Beats on pretty much every platform. And except Twitter. I think Twitter is Achickwitbeatz Music. But on every platform, and you can see, if you see that pink hat and my cartoon and everything, then you know you're right to the right place. So
awesome. Awesome. We thank you so much for being on with us today. We appreciate all the knowledge and information and sharing your experience with us. And Breezy, I know you support this, but we got to have you back sometime soon.
Absolutely. Let's have her back. And I was hesitating there because something was conjuring up in my brain, and I was thinking of, the word education, but then, it just came up, edu-momcation. Okay. That's right. Well, because, you're a maker of music, you're educating folks, you're leading them to the land where, the smiles are, the grooves are, the participation is, and, so edu-momcation, that's not that far off the road. That's actually right in the road.
Yeah, and then I also, I'm also trying to get my daughter in there with me, and so she'll come in there occasionally. She comes in there occasionally, but for the most part, she's like, I don't like rap music, Mommy. Why does everybody want to be a rapper? And I'm like, well, obviously you have been in the suburbs too long. We need to get you to exposure. But I do. She's an extension of Mom. So I am actually trying to get her to pick the craft up as well. Between my husband and I, we're going to browbeat her into it eventually.
and then additionally, sometimes it's being in the suburbs, wherever you are, and you come up to the traffic light, and that person next to you in the other vehicle, they're like rocking with some kind of beat, and you say, out here? Out here? Yeah, it is out here.
Nah, she's only 7 years old, and so she her music experience is pretty limited. She just hears whatever we play for her and everything. But she, like most little kids, they like what the other little kids like, and so the little kids at school like Billie Eilish and Ariana Grande and that kind of stuff. So to her, that is what music is supposed to be. Where I'm like, girl, you need some real hip hop, girl. But anyway.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, trust me, Mom. Trust me now. You know, the 7 years old, that's okay. So, you know, that's a great comfort zone. But I'm pretty much going to say, you know, by the time that is 16 or 17, that will have veered into
Change.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, by the time she's 16 or 17, I can really be Mom and she could make all the beats.
Yes, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah, she'll be saying, okay, Mom, check this one out.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we appreciate you joining us. It was great to have you on. Can't wait to have you back sometime soon.
I appreciate the invite. I really, really, really do. I appreciate the opportunity to share. I do.
All right, we appreciate your story.
Oh yeah, edumocation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I you know, on my side, you know, I really have enjoyed this. I've absorbed, and you know, you can tell when it swings to a positive tip, you know, it's all good. And see, you swung to a positive tip right from the start of the show, and so it's been completely enjoyable, just, you know, effervescent and, you know, educational too. But it's just a warm flow, and so, you know, I just have enjoyed every moment of this, and looking forward to you coming back in the future.
Oh, I appreciate it. I look forward to it.
Oh yeah.
All right, peace. Man, that was such an incredible interview with Mom on the Beats. I can't wait to have her back. All those gems and that she dropped, and all the knowledge and information, and her energy was just so incredible to have on the show.
You know that, hey, you hit it right. You hit it out the park with that, because she hit it, you know, she supercalifragilistic. I mean, you know, and then the way she explains things and so forth, you know, I'm just all in. I'm all in because it's an exciting time.
Indeed. So you guys make sure that you check her out everywhere. Check out her music. You know, offer all the support that you can. And yeah, I just seriously can't wait to have her back again soon. So, you know, a little bit dipping into some of the things that have happened since our last show was Triller is now throwing their hats in the ring to purchase TikTok for about $20 billion, with 10 up front and the other 10 to come in later. So Triller was actually the first to market before TikTok, but just kind of got eclipsed by them. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because for right now, there's so many contenders, like including Microsoft and Walmart. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, don't you think?
Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but, you know, the whole thing, the way this whole thing came about, in my opinion only, was really a downer. Okay, so, you know, everybody that's listening, you do your own investigating, and you'll see how this whole thing came about and where it came from. And so, but hey, it's resulting in another opportunity for another business, which I feel is really, really great.
It really is. It really is. So, all right, we'll get back to the beats and come back with more information a little bit later. we're back. Right before the music break, we were just talking about what was going on with TikTok, and just another little tidbit to throw into the mix is that TikTok is owned by ByteDance. And amidst all this craziness, you know how they say all publicity is good publicity? So far, they've had 15.2 million installs. So for their music app, even though, you know, TikTok is the one that most people focus on, but for the music streaming, they're actually pulling in more users right now. So yeah, although some of the events surrounding that may have been unfortunate, the mother company is actually benefiting quite nicely.
Well, you know, we need some of that publicity right there. The way that's rolling in, we need that.
Right.
And a lot of other folks do too.
Indeed. Also, Amazon Music has integrated their Twitch platform. So now all artists on Amazon Music can stream directly on Amazon Music through Twitch, which is a huge coup for music artists everywhere, because there are some platforms that have kind of been dabbling in the ability to offer music streaming and live performances, Q&As, or whatever kind of content the artist wants to get to their fans. But it was usually reserved for, you know, those with a high following, the popular celebrities who actually don't really need that much of a push. But Amazon Music kind of gave us a head start here by allowing independent artists to be able to do the same thing. And I think it's really, really incredible. That just dropped Tuesday of this past week. And so, you know, if you don't have a Twitch account, you should get one. Make sure that you link it with your Amazon Music account. And also, if you don't have an Amazon Music account or Amazon Music for artists, you want to make sure that you get that set up as well. It'll be an easier way to reach everyone that wants to hear your music during this time that we're kind of moving away from live shows, or, you know, just kind of still practicing social distancing.
Well, you know, that right there is another testimonial concerning, for all of the music heads out there, you can really get an up-to-date, true-to-life education just by zoning into this show. Mm-hmm. Because every day, every time, every week, Achickwitbeatz always brings it, as far as setting you up with the latest of whatever's happening in the business music world. Okay, and as we always allude to, one more again, music is a business. And so it's part of the business world. And if you're an artist and you're not open to that, then you're missing out totally. Music is a business, and so, but this is the spot. So keep it hot right here.
That concludes this week's session of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson on GranderRadio.com. We thank you so much for joining us. And, we can't wait to do it again next week, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm already hyped. You know what? With this show, I stay hyped. And so it's just another example of the goodness and greatness that's coming out right here from this spot.
All right. Make sure you keep it locked, and we'll see you next week. Peace.